In the next few minutes, if you allow yourself a few moments by simply choosing to be here with yourself, your brain can do something extraordinary for your life. And before we explore silence and its powerful impact through a completely different angle, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why Archimedes had his famous eureka moment while soaking in a bath? Or why Newton started questioning the force behind everything just by quietly watching an apple fall from a tree? Archimedes might have bathed every day. Newton had seen apples fall 1,000 times before. But on those days, something inside them was finally ready to listen. What transformed those ordinary moments into flashes of brilliance? It wasn't luck. These were moments of stillness, of deep, uninterrupted silence, when the outside world faded and the inside world finally had room to speak. But here's the truth. Archimedes and Newton didn't solve your problems. The questions you carry in your mind, only one voice can answer them. Because no one else can feel the weight of your question, the pain, the pressure, the silent battles you fight. Only you can walk through it. Only you can find the answer. Deep inside, there's a voice that knows what you need most, waiting for you to listen. You don't need more advice. It only leads to confusion. Because clarity doesn't come from adding more. It comes from subtraction. Letting go isn't a weakness. It's how we make space for insight, for healing, for real direction. In the next few minutes, I'll show you a simple but truly life-changing way to cut through the chaos and find your way back to yourself. But before we get to that, we need to see the invisible cage we're all living in and the very real cost we pay for it every single day. From the moment our alarms ring, we're flooded, overwhelmed before we even open our eyes. Think about this. Our phones are the first thing we reach for, a habit designed to hook us, to keep us from ever being truly alone with ourselves. We scroll through headlines and highlight reels before we've even checked in with our own hearts, swept up in a current that isn't ours. Caught in a loop, we become the product, our focus, our attention, sold to the highest bidder. This endless stream of digital noise is more than a distraction. It's a kind of pollution, clouding our minds and thoughts. In fact, over time, this can lead to real harm. High blood pressure, a heart under siege, a body that forgets how to feel safe. The noise isn't just in our heads, it's hurting our bodies too, stealing our peace, one moment at a time. It becomes harder to focus, our memories fade, and we're left feeling scattered, stressed, and unsure of ourselves. All that chaos sends your brain's alarm system into overdrive, making it impossible to hear what matters. Instead of listening to your inner voice, you freeze, or you follow the loudest voice, sometimes straight into a storm you never saw coming. We end up living lives that don't feel like our own, because we think of silence as empty, a void to be filled. But what if it's actually the space where we find ourselves again? Both modern science and ancient wisdom agree. Silence is where our minds and bodies heal, where we recharge and remember who we are. When you step into a quiet space, your brain tells your body it's safe to let go. Stress melts away, your heart slows, and you begin to feel whole again. In fact, one study found that just 2 minutes of silence can be more soothing, more healing than even the most relaxing music. Silence recharges our mental batteries. It lets your mind shift from reacting to the world to reflecting, dreaming, and creating. In that quiet, you process memories, make sense of your life, and discover new ideas. When noise never stops, this vital part of you is left starving. Silence is what sweeps away the mental clutter, clearing a path for clarity and peace. The science is still unfolding, but it points to something profound. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a powerful ingredient for a healthy, resilient mind. Let's get practical. Let's move beyond the usual advice and into real change. Step 1. Go on an information diet. Give your mind the space it's been craving. Before you can hear your inner voice, you have to turn down the volume of the outside world, just enough to let your own thoughts rise to the surface. Think about it. Your mind is always consuming but rarely digesting. When we rush from one thing to the next, we lose the chance to discover what's truly important. The first step is awareness. For one day, notice every piece of content you take in. Don't judge, just observe. This gentle noticing is the first step to choosing what you let in and making space for your own voice to be heard. Step 2. The Do Nothing Challenge. Give yourself permission to simply be. Instead of trying to empty your mind, try this. For 10 minutes, do nothing. No phone, no music, no books, not even tidying up. Just be. Just sit. No scrolling, no music, no distractions. And notice what comes up for you in the quiet. It's an act of quiet rebellion against the pressure to always be busy. It's not about finding perfect peace. It's about noticing your own restlessness, letting your mind wander, and giving your inner world the space to finally speak. When you give your brain that quiet, something magical happens. It's called the incubation effect. After you've taken in information and then stepped away, your unconscious mind gets to work, connecting ideas, searching for solutions, all in the background. That's why your best ideas often show up in the shower or on a quiet walk when you least expect them. Silence isn't just rest, it's an active state of processing. By allowing for this incubation, you let your brain turn raw data into insight, creativity, and the answers you've been searching for. We often try to hear our gut by searching for a yes, but sometimes the clearest signal is a gentle, powerful no. Often your intuition speaks through resistance, a tightness, a sense of this isn't right. Before you decide, stop trying to force an answer. Instead, get quiet and listen for what feels wrong. Notice the options that make your stomach clench, your shoulders tense, or your energy fade. That feeling of not this is pure, unfiltered guidance. Trusting that signal is one of the fastest ways to find your way back to your true path. Now that you've created some quiet, how do you find the signal in all the static? You do it by finding the question you're really asking. We often ask surface questions like, should I take this job? But underneath, the real question might be, am I enough? Or what will make me feel safe? Grab a notebook, write down the decision you're wrestling with. Then ask, what am I afraid of here? Or what deep longing is driving this? Answering these helps you cut through the anxious noise and see what's truly at the heart of it all. And once you've found that deeper question, here's the game-changing reframe. Instead of asking what you should do, which only invites fear and outside opinions, ask, which path will help me grow the most? Or what would the wisest, bravest version of me do right now? This simple shift pulls you out of panic and connects you to a deep well of clarity. We've seen how the world's constant noise can cloud our judgment and even harm our health. But we've also discovered that the answer isn't to add more, but to let go. The answer is silence. Silence isn't empty. It's full of restoration for your mind and body. It's the space where you can breathe, create and reconnect with your own wisdom. By going on an information diet, daring to do nothing and trusting the incubation period, you give yourself the chance to process, to heal and to solve what once felt impossible. By learning to listen for the no and by asking the real question behind your questions, you can cut through the static and tune into the clear, steady signal of your own intuition. The wisdom you're searching for isn't out there. It's been inside you all along, waiting in the quiet for you to come home and listen. Now that you know how to tune into your inner voice, the next challenge is learning how to understand its language. Sometimes it speaks through feelings, sometimes in symbols or ideas that appear when you write. In our next video, we'll dive deep into the art of mindful journaling for clarity and growth to help you decode those messages. Click the screen to watch it next. Thank you for sharing this quiet, meaningful moment with us.